Yo, I just got some information myself, man, because it was strange to me that every month he's going up for a bail hearing, and I know that seems strange to him.
The judge has denied bail for Sean Diddy Combs. Of course, this was the hip-hop mogul's latest bid for freedom as he remains in federal jail for his racketeering and trafficking case.
Sean Diddy, one of hip-hop's most legendary figures, is facing a legal storm that could reshape his legacy. Known for his lavish lifestyle and groundbreaking career, the music mogul has been denied bail yet again. This marks the third time. Judge Run Subban ruled that no amount of money or restrictions could guarantee public safety if he were released. In a detailed statement, the judge outlined the seriousness of the allegations, casting a shadow over the former Bad Boy Records founder's once stellar reputation as his legal troubles continue to grow.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
Let's face it, this case is turning into one of the most intense legal battles in recent memory. The stakes are sky high, impacting not just Combs' freedom, but the future of his entire empire. His latest attempt to secure bail wasn't a routine request. It was a bold, high-risk move involving a jaw-dropping $50 million bail package. That's right, $50 million. Combs' defense team argued that the unprecedented offer, along with strict conditions like 24/7 private security and a complete ban on internet and phone access, should have eased any concerns about him being a threat to society or a flight risk. But the court wasn't buying it. Judge Subban made it clear in a detailed explanation why the proposal still wasn't enough to justify granting him bail.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
The judge's decision boiled down to four key factors: the seriousness of the charges, the strength of the evidence, Combs' personal history, and whether his release would endanger the community. Unfortunately for Diddy, the ruling didn't work in his favor on any of these points. The charges are staggering: racketeering, coercion, and allegedly orchestrating a years-long pattern of harm. Prosecutors claim Combs used his wealth, influence, and connections to create an environment where he could act without fear of consequences. But it's not just the gravity of the accusations. It's the solid evidence prosecutors say they have to back them up.
We're monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
One of the most damaging pieces of evidence cited by prosecutors, and referenced in the judge's ruling, is a 2016 video that has since gained notoriety. The footage, captured in a Los Angeles hotel hallway, allegedly shows Combs engaging in behavior prosecutors describe as violent and controlling. In the video, Combs, dressed only in a towel, is seen confronting his then-partner, Cassandra Ventura, known publicly as Cassie. Prosecutors claim the footage shows him dragging her to the ground, kicking her, and forcibly pulling her back toward their hotel room. They argue this incident is not an isolated event, but part of a much broader pattern of aggression and control.
Is everybody familiar with the old Diddy? So what Diddy's lawyers are trying to do is pull a Diddy. They're trying to say that the evidence that they have is different. Well, it's not different. What the entire world has seen is not going to go away. The fact that he had parties that were freak-offs is not going away. So it's just a question of whether or not.
Adding to the damning evidence are text messages exchanged between Combs and Cassie after the 2016 incident. Entered into the court record, these messages paint a deeply troubling picture. In one text, Cassie reportedly described visible injuries, mentioning a swollen face and other harm. "I have a black eye and a swollen lip. You're sick for thinking this is okay." Another message allegedly referenced lingering bruises, with Cassie writing, "I still have crazy bruising." Together with the video, these messages build a narrative that's hard to dismiss, even for those inclined to give Diddy the benefit of the doubt. But the 2016 incident isn't the only shadow hanging over Combs. The case also includes allegations of obstruction. prosecutors claim he has taken extraordinary steps to manipulate witnesses and control the public narrative surrounding his legal troubles. While in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center, Combs is accused of violating detention rules, including using other inmates' phone access codes to make unauthorized calls. Additionally, he allegedly used a private messaging service to communicate with individuals outside the facility, bypassing standard monitoring protocols. Even more alarming, prosecutors allege that some of these communications were aimed at influencing witnesses or even potential jurors, raising serious concerns about his ability to comply with legal boundaries and reinforcing the court's decision to deny bail.
That's it. If it is privilege, of course they won't. But if it really is what the prosecution says, it has nothing to do with the case, or even worse, it's actually evidence of witness tampering, because we all know the attorney-client privilege, there's a crime fraud exception. You can't use your lawyer to perpetuate a future continuing fraud or crime. So if the documents are what the government says they are, they're going to get them again. And again, it's just going to be a matter of days.
One of the more unusual twists in this case involves a social media campaign tied to Combs' recent birthday. Prosecutors argue this campaign, reportedly orchestrated with help from his family, was designed to influence public opinion and potentially sway jurors. The campaign included a heartfelt video of Combs' children celebrating his birthday and sharing their love for him while he listened in over the phone from jail. At first glance, it might seem like a simple family moment. However, prosecutors have highlighted statements allegedly made by Combs that suggest a deeper motive. During a phone call, he reportedly said something along the lines of, "I just need one," implying that his goal was to influence at least one juror to sway the trial in his favor. This claim, paired with the other allegations of manipulation, has only added to the court's skepticism about Combs' intentions and reinforces the challenges he faces in this high-profile legal battle.
So that, they probably didn't see these notes, and they never will.
But if you're Diddy, don't you want your notes back?
Yeah.
If you've spent so many hours gathering evidence for your side or strategy or whatever, for me, I'd be like, oh no, please don't destroy.
Then, there's the issue of Combs' alleged communications with a key witness in the case. This individual, said to have been involved in several of the incidents under investigation, reportedly received multiple calls and messages from Combs. Even after testifying before a grand jury, the judge pointed out that while Combs' legal team has provided explanations for some of these interactions, others remain unclear. The fact that some of these messages were deleted has only raised more suspicion. This led Judge Subian to conclude that there is a significant risk of witness tampering, a key factor in the decision to deny bail. In response, Combs' defense team, led by attorneys Mark Agnifilo and Alexander Shapiro, has strongly disputed these claims. They argue that many of the allegations against their client are either exaggerated or completely false. To further support their case, they pointed to Combs' willingness to accept strict conditions for his release. The defense proposed that Combs would be confined to a 3-bedroom apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side, under constant surveillance by private security. He would have no phone or internet access, and his interactions with the outside world would be strictly limited to his legal team and select family members. They argue these measures should be enough to prove he can be trusted to follow court orders.
Their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual. This person was a willing participant. And not only that, but that these individuals assume the risk, being present at those parties, engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct of being in those spaces, consuming and things of that nature.
Despite the defense's arguments, Judge Subian remained unconvinced. One of the main points of contention was the proposed use of private security to monitor Combs. Prosecutors argued that this arrangement would essentially be like Combs paying for his own private jail, creating a 2-tier justice system where the wealthy could essentially buy their way out of detention. The judge seemed to agree with these concerns, pointing out that the security team would ultimately answer to Combs, not the court. This raised doubts about whether such an arrangement would actually ensure that Combs would follow the conditions of his release.
It sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home.
Okay.
The home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't looking into the video, so it, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the video.
The judge also took issue with the defense's handling of another controversy involving notes seized from Combs' jail cell. These notes, which were discovered during a routine contraband search, reportedly contained concerning statements, including alleged instructions to gather information about 2 individuals tied to the case. The defense argued that the notes were protected by attorney-client privilege and should never have been reviewed by prosecutors. However, the judge pointed out inconsistencies in the defense's claims, particularly regarding whether the notes were clearly marked as privileged during the sweep. This discrepancy, along with other factors, only seemed to further erode the court's confidence in Combs and his legal team.
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon, Mr. Combs got on a plane, left his home in Florida, flew to New York. I called the prosecutors myself. I said, Mr. Combs is in New York. Do you want to know?
Another point raised during the hearing was the case of Mike Jeff, a former executive facing similar allegations of misconduct. Jeff, who is in his 80s, was recently granted bail under the condition of a $10 million bond. The defense argued that if Jeff could be released, then Combs should be as well. However, prosecutors countered that the 2 cases are fundamentally different. Unlike Combs, Jeff is not accused of running a violent criminal operation or engaging in obstruction. Additionally, Jeff's advanced age was considered a mitigating factor, making him a lower risk. The judge ultimately agreed with this distinction, which further reinforced the decision to keep Combs in custody.
So my defense is very well established. I interviewed myself the different men who were being brought sort of into Mr. Combs in this person's intimate situation. I've flown around the country. I've interviewed a large number of them. There's not the slightest inkling, according to the interviews that I've done, of anything that's coercive, non-consensual.
With bail denied, Combs now faces the difficult task of preparing for trial while behind bars. His legal team has hinted they may appeal the decision, but the chances of success seem slim. Meanwhile, the allegations against him keep piling up, with new lawsuits and claims surfacing almost every week. This latest setback is just another chapter in a saga that shows no sign of slowing down. The man once known as the king of the music industry is now left to confront the harsh reality of his situation: a cramped jail cell, a mountain of legal troubles, and a legacy hanging in the balance. Let's be honest, the story surrounding Sean Diddy Combs only gets messier by the minute. If you thought the denial of his bail was the only headline grabber, think again. We're diving into the scandal surrounding his infamous jailhouse notes, pages of handwritten instructions, scribbles, and reminders seized during what was supposed to be a routine sweep. But as the details unfold, it's clear there was nothing routine about the contents or the fallout that followed.
Sean Diddy Combs was denied bail for the 3rd time, a federal judge saying that the government had proven by clear and convincing evidence that there were no conditions of release that would ensure the safety of the community.
The defense denying these claims and is pushing for his release under strict conditions, including a $50 million bond and 24/7 monitoring at a secured Manhattan apartment. There will be a hearing today where both sides will have a chance to clarify exactly how Combs has been connecting with the world outside his jail cell.
So there's a few things going on. First is the privilege issue. The judge will decide whether the documents are privileged or not. If they're not, they're going to go to the government. If the documents are not only not privileged, they're evidence of witness tampering, then a few things can happen, all of which are bad for Sean Diddy Combs. First, of course, he faced obstruction of justice charges in a superseding indictment.
Wait, say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but the shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession.
And let's not forget the celebrities who've been linked to Diddy over the years. Names like Jay-Z, Jennifer Lopez, and Usher have all been mentioned in connection to his legendary parties. While there's no evidence to suggest they were involved in, or even aware of, any wrongdoing, the mere association has left some scrambling to protect their reputations. Reports indicate that several high-profile figures have quietly been working to scrub their social media accounts, deleting photos and posts that could tie them to Diddy. It's a fascinating, and somewhat ironic, twist, considering that many of these same celebrities once basked in the glow of his influence. But even as some try to distance themselves, others have come forward to share their experiences. One attendee, a woman invited to one of Diddy's events by a well-known figure, recently described what she saw as unsettling. According to her account, the atmosphere was chaotic, with people engaging in behavior she described as out of control. While she stopped short of making specific allegations, her testimony adds to the growing chorus of voices painting a much less flattering picture of these gatherings.
Not buying it all, Kana, and safety can mean a couple different things. Safety just doesn't mean free from harm of violence. Safety can also too mean emotional and mental dynamic that could occur by Sean Combs reaching out to potential witness to get them to possibly change it.
When people got a lot of money and they got lawyers that can come up with different reasons and different information and present it to the courts, that they are able to get how many bail hearings, as long as you got different information to present to the court, different evidence. Diddy is a multi-millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. If he wins this case against them, look at all the business that he lost. Look what they made him look like in the public eye. He could bankrupt. he could bankrupt the government. They know they already won their case. He's gonna have to plead guilty to something. Maybe the guns. It may be the trafficking. It may be some stuff they found in the tax evasion. It may be charges that we don't even know about. But he's gonna have to plead guilty to something which gets him off the hook.
So where does this leave us? For now, Diddy remains behind bars, his once glamorous world reduced to the confines of a detention facility. His legal team is gearing up for what promises to be a long and contentious battle, while prosecutors continue to build their case. As more details emerge, it's clear this story is far from over. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Diddy, but for everyone connected to him. In a case like this, the ripple effects are bound to spread far and wide, impacting lives and careers in ways we can't yet predict. And here's the kicker. With the trial still months away, there's plenty of time for new revelations to come to light. Will more accusers step forward? Will former allies turn against him? And what about those notes? Will they ultimately be admitted as evidence, or will the defense succeed in keeping them out? One thing's for sure, this case has already changed the way the world sees Shad Diddy Combs. The question now is, how much more is there to uncover? Stick around, because this story is only just beginning. What do you think? Is Shad Diddy Combs being unfairly targeted, or is there more to these allegations than meets the eye? And how far do you think his influence and wealth will take him in this legal battle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.